My name is Ida Manyes Basic, the village princess, your princess, the universe princess, everybody's princess. I'm back with another story with you, my cyber family, some quality time for us as one big functional, dysfunctional family. Functional, dysfunctional family, but we love. Oh, there's the heart, there's the heart. We love each other. We love each other. And for that reason, I ask you, my family, to like, subscribe, and comment my stories. And don't forget to share, because sharing is caring. And believe me, if you share these stories, you'll be inspiring at least one person out there. One person out there that you'll be inspiring, and it makes a difference in somebody's life. Please share my stories. The story today is about a young girl who got abused, sexually abused and molested by somebody who was supposed to be a family friend, who was supposed to be protecting her, and he took advantage of the trust that her parents gave to him, because they sent her to him because he was a doctor working in a clinic, and the girl went to him thinking that she's going to meet uncle who's going to help her, and uncle took advantage of her. And for the sake of the story, we're gonna call him immediately Uncle Judas. He's the Judas, he betrayed the family. And the story goes like this. My name is Shiluva. Shiluva is 17 years old, young girl. I'm Shiluva and I have a boyfriend, and my boyfriend is 2 years older than me. He's 19. And we are both in high school. We're a young couple and we love each other, and we just do everything that young people do. One day I got sick. I was feeling a little bit sick, but I still managed to go to school. But when I got to school, things got worse. I had a headache and I was feeling really feverish. I didn't know what was going on, and I told my teacher. And my teacher asked for my mom's number, and she called my mom to come and pick me up. But my mom was very busy at work, and she asked me if I could manage to go to the clinic, because it was not that far from the school. And I could go to the clinic and ask to speak to Uncle Judas, who is a doctor and that was working there, and maybe he can help, he can assist me to find out what was going on with me, and to prescribe something. And that happened, that my teacher told me that I could go. I went to Uncle Judas. I walked there, took my time, but I got there, got to the clinic. But because I never been there before, when I got there, I met a nurse, and I asked the nurse if she knew Dr. Judas, and the nurse said yes. And I asked, how do I get to his office? And she told me, here where you're standing, you go straight to in this corridor, and you turn left, and then on your right side, the second door, that's his office. You're gonna see the sign by the door, Dr. Judas. And I walked there and got there, knocked on the door, and he opened the door, and he was like all smiling, excited to see me, and he was like, he asked, what's going on? What did he do to deserve that visit of this special person? Then I said that I was not feeling well, and mom told me to come here. Then he was like, okay, come in and sit down. I came in, and he finished to do what he was doing, because he was writing something. And he told me he asked me what I was feeling, and I described to him that I had a headache, and I was feeling nauseous, and I was feeling uncomfortable. I didn't know what was going on, and he was like, oh, okay. And he made a joke. He said, are you pregnant? And I said, no, I'm not pregnant. But it's so funny, because, well, immediately there was something funny that happened. He started becoming this, instead of talking to me like Uncle Judas that I know, he was talking to me like this cool guy. He was trying to be cool, my friend, my cool friend. But he was like, he's my dad's friend. He's like older. He's a big guy with a stomach, with everything. Like he's like my dad, but he was behaving like a cool friend of mine. And then he asked me, oh, do you have a boyfriend? And I say, no. First he asked me, how old are you now? I know you since before you were born, but I can't remember. How old are you? Then I said, I'm 17. Then he goes, oh, you're a big girl now. Do you have a boyfriend? And I said, yes, I do have a boyfriend. And he asked, how old is your boyfriend? And I said, my boyfriend is 2 years older than me. He's 19, and I'm 17 and he's 19. I'm still having this smiley, innocent face, like, and very sure of myself, because I'm thinking that I'm speaking to my uncle. But while he was saying that, he stood up and he came behind me and he held my shoulders. And he said, oh, if your boyfriend is 19, that means that he's a student and he doesn't have a job. Then I said, yes, he doesn't have a job. We are still in high school. And then he goes, oh, that means that he cannot afford to spoil you. And something went, but at the same time, because I was just thinking, Uncle Judas is acting funny, but until then, I did not see anything wrong. I just thought, my uncle is acting funny, but nothing more to that. And then it says, oh, maybe you need another boyfriend that can spoil you while you have your young boyfriend. You can have an older boyfriend. Then it was like, not understanding what he meant with that. Then he said, okay, let's check what's going on with this beautiful young lady. He says, okay, you need to sit down on the bed. And then he showed me the small hospital bed. And I went, and then he said, take off your blazer, because I was still wearing a school uniform. I took off my blazer, put on the chair that I was sitting there with my bag, and I went and I sat on the bed. Then he came with that thing, I can't remember the name, that the doctors use to measure. They put here and then they measure your heartbeat. And then he took that thing and he put there, and then start feeling. He was like, oh, your heart is really beating fast, eh? You really, then he touched me. He's like, oh, you're really a hot girl. And I was like, it was really something straight. It was between him being a doctor and him being this, trying to be funny and but not really funny for me, because I was not feeling well. I was not very energetic. I was just sitting there. His body language changed. He became this sexy, and even his tone of voice was more into the sexy more than to the uncle voice. And he told me to lie down, and I lied down, and he told me to take off my panties, and everything was just happening so naturally. I did not shout, I was just frozen, and I was just robotically doing everything that he was telling me to do. I took off my panties, and then he touched me here. He started feeling me there, and he touched my boobs and everything. And I closed my eyes because he was still Uncle Judas. And I closed my eyes. I was so uncomfortable, but at the same time, I was just frozen. When I had my eyes closed, somehow he took off his pants, and I just felt him on top of me. He just closed my mouth. He did whatever he had to do. He introduced his genitals inside of me. He had sex with me. I was just frozen. I didn't move. I didn't do anything. When he was finished, he stood up, put on his pants, and he told me to put on my clothes and sit back on the chair, that he was going to prescribe me something. But then he was not anymore that sexy guy that he was just a few minutes ago. He was this serious, very serious face, he was not Uncle Judas anymore. He became this monster dressed in doctor's clothes. He was so serious and so scary, so intimidating. And he told me, you're a big girl now. You don't have to tell anyone what just happened here, and especially your parents. Anyway, even if you tell anyone, no one would ever believe that something like this would happen in the clinic. You must just keep this as our little secret, and I'll become your older boyfriend, and anytime that you need something, you just call me, you come to me. He took my phone because my phone was on the table. He punched his number, and he said, you can call me anytime, but do not tell anyone, because you're gonna be in big trouble if you do that. Then he prescribed me. He told me that I could go. I put my blazer back, carried my bag, and left. And the crazy part of this story is that what happened there, I stayed months and months. I didn't say anything to my mom or my dad, to anyone. One time I told one of my aunts, because I started getting a depression. I was rebellious. I had mood swings, because I couldn't share with anyone, not even with my boyfriends. I couldn't have sex with my boyfriend anymore. And I told my aunt, but bear in mind that Uncle Judas, He has a family of his own. He has children, a wife that they are friends with my parents. And they're church people. That part I forgot to tell you guys. They're church people. And when I told my aunt, instead of sympathizing with me, because actually I was a good girl, I was not a bad girl until that happened to me. My aunt told me, first thing she asked, have you told anybody? I said, no, I've not told anyone. And she said, don't tell anyone. I will speak to your mom about this. And then we will see what we can do. Because you know Uncle Guna is a church person. And people respect him, and he's a doctor. And I don't know. I'm going to have to talk to your mom before we do anything about this. I guess this will be the end of my story. I don't know if my aunt ever spoke to my mom, because my mom never approached me about this. Uncle Guna continued coming to the house. I never called him. I blocked him on my phone. And we just continued pretending that everything is fine. And every time they came to the house, I'll just go to my room and everything. I never saw him. I mean, I saw him again, but I never went close to him again. And he pretended that he just knew me the same way that he knew me from before. Like he never touched me or anything. This was really emotional for me to tell this story. Even when I heard the story, I got really emotional. Anyway, if you guys hear of anyone going through something like this out there, which I know that people are going through, that are being molested by people that they trust in their families. Guys, let's stop putting everything under the carpet. Avoid talking about what's really happening out there. Children and women are being molested. People that we trust, fathers, uncles, family members, whatever, they are molesting our children. They are molesting our women. We need to talk about this. We need to stop pretending that this is not happening. If we want to save lives, if we want to save people, we need to talk about this, because we cannot talk about all other difficult topics to talk about and ignore this one. This topic is very important to be out there. We need to talk about this. We really need to stop pretending that we don't see these things happening. This is a society, I don't know what's going on, but every time you go on Facebook or on TV to watch the news or social media, there's a child or woman that was raped and killed and dropped on the side of the road. We need to make these predators aware that we are onto them. This is unacceptable. And believe me, even if they tell you that if you tell somebody something bad is going to happen to you, if you go to the police, if you report these crimes, these people are going to get prosecuted. Times have changed, and these people are rotting in jail. We need to stop this. Those days there was not much happening, because most of our societies are very patriotic, and there was no really laws to protect women and children. But today things have changed. Report this kind of crimes. Let these assholes rot in prison. Save a life. Help somebody out there. Share my videos. My name is Ira Manyis. I'm the village princess, and I'll see you in my next video. I don't know what I'm gonna bring next, but for this time, please share this video. Help somebody out there. Thank you for watching. Oops, there's the heart. Goodbye.